So it arose in this unit. The thought arose that the
Alexis, I'll
dictionary
get back with you. I'm sorry. I think I got out of order, but it doesn't matter. Go ahead, Robert.
that that the dictionary has improperly defined omniscience.
Hmm.
So the definition of omniscience in the dictionary is all knowing. And I can see from the perspective of a misidentified unit or a awareness misidentifying as a unit, how all knowing, one would expect that to be to ask something that was all knowing, like what's the cube root of a billion? And it should be able to give you an instant answer, right? But that's not really, it doesn't seem like how it works, right?
Right.
So um, when everything's clear, there's no need to know anything.
That's it. What we're trying to do
So,
is unlearn all this stuff we think we know. And we start
right.
out with who we are. We think we know who we are, but we don't. In our first non-dual book, we read, you are not the body. And we think, oh, that's a good pointer. Wonder what that means. Well, it means you are not the body. Oh, says the body. Oh, I can't.
Yeah, so it seems like a better definition for omniscience would be the absence of the need to know.
Yeah, that's it. As I sometimes tell people, I don't know anything at all, and I'm looking to learn less. I mean, to know even less. And you stay because it's staying empty. Because somebody, I heard somebody mention something that sent a flag to my head, and it was like somebody was talking about being available. I think it doesn't matter. So awakeness doesn't push anything out. Awakeness goes where there is openness. And if I am full of my ideas and my answers, and I already know, and people in awake and seekers who have not yet become finders are they believe many of them are arrogant, and they believe that I was the most arrogant being there is, and there's still arrogance here, but it's the unit's fault. It has nothing to do with me. So, but the idea that I already know what this is about, um, that's the most arrogant position that there is, because now there's somebody who knows all about something else. And you see, that can't be true. That's not what they're talking about, is it?
There's so much freedom in just never even needing to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, well, what do I do now? Well, do you actually make a bunch of decisions, or do things happen and then you notice that you claim to have made that decision? Right? I've seen it where they will have a brain hooked up. And not saying 100% of scientists believe this, but I'm saying science recognizes many very smart scientists recognize this, and you can see it on YouTube. I've seen it, which is that um, there's something happens, and then there is a spark in the brain instantly, and that spark is a thought to explain why this just happened, how this just happened, and also wants to share the fact that I did it. Right. And there's no I here. I mean, we can say I am the I or whatever, but what does that really mean? It means that, there's no one finds that out. That is discovered upon not the collection of a new identity, but from the abandonment of an old one. And once I found out that this unit is completely unsatisfiable, then I began to wonder, well, why am I trying so hard to do that? And once I really discovered that that was actually true, that this unit was unsatisfied, it didn't matter what you gave it. It just was, oh, that's nice. Thank you. Next. right? You got your dream come true. Thank you. Thank you very much. What a little dream that was. Hey, let me get back on that train. So if we can acknowledge that this thing is unsatisfiable, we can quit expecting to wake up an imaginary character. I came here trying to wake up Fred. And Fred Davis very much wanted to know God, to know the truth. And the truth is that God woke up to the fiction of Fred Davis, which is a totally different experience. And I thought of something this morning, and I sent myself an email on it so that I would remember to address it in a video. And the problem here is that we are trying to teach relative beings, bodies. We're trying to do, as teachers, this is the teacher's chief mistake. I mean, those teachers who really don't have it. You know, the chief mistake is that they're trying to teach this unit how to do it. And I'm going to tell you how this unit did it and how my experience was. And the fact is that you cannot teach a relative being about the absolute, because the recognition of the absolute is the absence of a relative being. So the relative being, Fred, will never come to know God. And recognizing that God comes to recognize there's no Fred, that's a whole other thing. And that's what we're really after. We don't know it's what we're after because the ego knows what we're after and is looking for self-aggrandizement, right? And special things and maybe special powers and things like that, you know? People get lost in cities or people get lost in practices or whatever. So this is my practice. So when do you actually get it? Oh, there's nothing in the book about getting it. It's just about how to practice. This is backwards.